Hello, hey, howdy, hey, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be reviewing RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18, Episode 9. This was the Rusical Challenge. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to hit that like button, comment down below what you thought about this video, and hit that subscribe button, become part of the Samatar community. Ding! You can also follow me on my other social media platforms at Samatar Hour on all platforms. Wow, I have threads on here? That's crazy. I haven't used that. Hello! Yes, so for today's video, I'm going to be reviewing episode 9. This was the Rusical, and we're going to get right on into it. Before we do, though, I do want to say do not send hate to any of the queens mentioned in this video, because that's not what these are meant for. This is a fun place on this side of the interwebs to cut up and kiki and talk about all things Drag Race. So, now let's get into this episode. Starts out with the queens coming back in the workroom after the elimination of Mia Star. I said this last week, and I will stand by this as a Kenya pleaser stan. Again, as a Kenya pleaser stan, I need to reiterate. I personally still believe Mia won that lip sync, and I think Kenya should have sashayed away. That being said, I'm still glad we have Kenya. I just wanted to say that again. So, Kenya Pleaser won the lip sync. She is still in the competition. Reading the message, everyone's pretty shook up by Mia leaving the competition. Again, Mia Star, I think, was a very fierce competitor. And also, I feel like had she still been in this competition, she would have been fierce in this musical. She would have been fierce. She would have been fierce. And I think from a production standpoint, it makes sense that they got rid of her when they did. Because I see sort of a storyline that they're developing. And I think there are certain queens that they might want to go farther in the competition. And I think Mia might have gotten in the way of that. Anyways, that's me in my conspiracy theory corner. Let's continue on. Right, so last week also, pretty sure, wait, who won? Nene won last week. Nene Coco, they congratulate Nene Coco, and also talk about the other queens who were in the top, which were Jane and Mikey. Looking back at the episode, again, I still stand by the point of I'm happy Nene won. I think Jane could have won. I also think Mikey could have won. I think any of them could have won last week for the Snatch Game. Mikey is coming out to be a very fierce competitor in this competition, and I see Mikey going far. I see Nene going far and Mikey. And probably Jane. That's my top 3 as of right now if I were to pick a top 3 in this competition. Again, we'll have to see how the rest of this season crumbles. But if I were to pick a top 3 right now at this point in the competition, it would be Jane, Mikey, and Nene. And who of the 3 would you give that crown to? I want to hear from you. While we are waiting here, I want to hear from you. Who would you give the crown to? Jane, Mikey, or Nene? Who do you think is the winner of season 18 of RuPaul's Drag Race? Do you think it's one of the 3, or do you think it's somebody else? I am curious. For me, if I were to pick a winner right now, I might give it to Mikey. Oh, Jane? Okay. I can see Jane for sure. Jane is definitely up there too. I think Jane is fierce competition, especially after this week too. And constantly being in the top. Constantly. Yeah, agree with my top 3. Cool. Cool. I'm worried about a few of the queens. I'm worried about Kenya. I'm worried about Discord. And I'm worried about Darlene because they don't have wins at this point in the competition, and we are 9 episodes in. I love Darlene and I love Kenya. I don't know. I see kind of a little bit more of the season playing out that way. Hello. Please tell me if my sound is disconnecting. Y'all, internet is. Anyways, Athena and Juicy are having a conversation because Juicy was asked, "Who are you?" Right? And Athena's been through it with Juicy because apparently Juicy struggled with drug addiction, and Athena was really there for her. So they're like drag family to the core, right? Like the House of Dion, they are drag family. And I saw this storyline of this episode developing very clearly from this point in the competition to the end of this episode, especially with that whole cutaway to in the mirror moments when Athena and Juicy are talking about their family and how close they are. Y'all, this episode had a very clear storyline of who is going to be in the bottom. And of course, from a production standpoint, this is their first time, well, not technically, but like first time having mother-daughter, like super close drag family competing against each other on the same season. I say not technically because technically Tamisha Iman is Lala Ree's drag mother. Yes, I do remember that. But if you're talking about like current family, like super close drag family, this is the first time that this has happened. So, of course, they are going to take advantage of having this on the show. And from a storyline and production standpoint, it would make sense to make them compete against each other in a lip sync. And you see the storyline of this episode starting from this point when clearly, in my opinion, I think, again, we'll get to this later, I think Discord should have been in the bottom too. Anyways. I'm gonna shut up now. We'll keep playing. RuPaul comes in and introduces the mini challenge, which was sponsored by Grindr. Sure. So it's called Grindr. I hardly know her. You know I love a pun. If you've been following the Samature Hour channel, you know I love a pun. And this was a pun, and it was a good pun. Thank you, Drag Race. The mini challenge was cute. I really don't have too much to say other than the last question being who is going to go home next and why, and everyone saying Kenya, essentially including Kenya. But Kenya said it to get the points in the mini challenge. Would y'all say yourself at that point for this mini challenge just to get the win? From my perspective, I would never say in any way that I am next to go home if you are on a reality competition show. You don't want to speak that shit into existence, for one. And two, production is hearing everything you say. Is this balloons? Did balloons just go off? Did y'all see balloons? Okay, tell me if y'all saw balloons. Am I crazy? Please tell me, did y'all see balloons? I'm spooked. Anyways. Yeah, at that point, I would not speak that into existence because I feel like just speaking that into existence, you are, like, saying, I'm okay going home, which if you are on a reality competition show, you should never say. Also, a mini challenge one is not worth it. Anyways. Love Kenya, but, like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Kenya and Discord, I believe, win. They each win $2,500. Sure. RuPaul introduces the Maxi challenge, which is going to be the Rusical, called Franny. Fanny. My God. I just watched the episode. Fanny, the Hard Knock Ball. So it's a mix of Paris is Burning and Annie, the musical. Let me know if you've seen Annie in the comment section below. I grew up on musicals, so I saw Annie the movie musical movie. I saw that a lot of times growing up, so I'm very familiar with the material. I have seen Paris is Burning. I need to go back and watch it again because I feel like I haven't seen it enough to get the references. I also don't think the references were that clear to Paris is Burning, to be fair. I will say I did appreciate that they had someone from Ballroom coming in to teach the choreo if you are going to have a ballroom-based challenge, to have someone from the community that you are taking from, in lack of better terms, to have someone from that community to teach, I think is important. And the fact that they did, I do appreciate, because it was more than just Jamal. No shade to Jamal, but I am very happy that it was more than just Jamal. Oh, wrong click. I want to make sure my sound is working. Okay, it is. And is my chat not updating? Is that the issue? Because I don't. Okay, so y'all are commenting. My chat is just being glitchy. I'm sorry. Oh yes, Annie. Oh, you didn't see. Okay, I'm going crazy. Okay, I in any chats. My is shitty. But in personal life updates, this is stuff I should probably not be saying on the internet, but whatever. 2026 has been. I finally got my driver's license at 28. Well, I'm 28. At 28, got my license, and I have a car, so I'm driving now, which is very exciting. And I'm gonna be moving. That's all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna be moving. Probably not until May, but I am moving, so I'm very excited. Thanks. Yeah, I realized I'm 2026. I'm done. It's my year. I'm ready. Yeah, this was my third try to get my license, and it finally happened. Finally. Wait, let's see if showing the chat would. Okay, so it's showing up there. Whatever. All right. Anyways, let's get back into this. So Fanny, the hard knock ball. It was cute. It was a fun challenge. It was a good Rusical. We're gonna get into all of this. In terms of placements, again, we'll get to it later. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Let's get back to the clips that I have right here. So everyone's picking out the roles, picking out who they want to be. I did find this part interesting, especially with the whole Nene situation, because Nene was like, "I want to be the main role. No, I don't want to be the main role. No, I don't want to be the one role that she ended up being." And it was a constant like changing her mind, which I get. I get. Believe me, I tend to be pretty indecisive, so I completely understand where Nene is coming from. But also, I get the frustration that the other queens are having because they just want to get started on the challenge. They just want to get things moving so that they can compete and do the thing. So I get it, but also I get where Nene, hey, it is what it is. Ultimately, Mikey offers her the main role, and then Nene's like, no, I don't want the role I don't want the main role, I'll take the other role. It's a whole mess. Even tries to incorporate Athena into it, even though Athena claimed the mother role from jump. And then maybe we're missing parts of the narrative. Maybe there was more to it. Everyone ended up with great parts. I agree. I think it was ultimately a good musical, and I think everyone ended up doing the best with the parts that they were given. I thought the part that Jane picked was very much written for Jane, and she killed it. The options for Jane were either she picks a role, right, that was basically written for her, and then she flops, or she kills it, and she killed it, which is great. It's great. So yes, everyone picks parts. Mikey is saying, I actually have background in musical theater. I used to do theater and a whole lot, right? Growing up, for me, I was a theater major and theater all 4 years in high school. Then freshman year in college, I started as a theater major. Ooh. Oh my god, pause. Conspiracy. But does Nini not want the role because of the Rusical curse or because she's just not strong up? I don't know. I think Nini overthinks. And as someone who overthinks, I completely relate to that. Darlene was hysterical as a dog. Not sure why they made her. Not sure why I made her laugh, but did. I thought Darlene did a very great job. I'm a big Darlene Mitchell fan. Like, Darlene is that girl. Anyways, everyone picks roles. We're moving past this because there's some drama there, but ultimately, it doesn't really matter. They're recording vocals with Leland. I also thought it was interesting that the musical editor in the background, they also just at the end said, "Oh, he's no longer with us." That was wild. I was not expecting that. That was wild. That was wild. Recording happens. Everyone sort of is bringing their own spin to it. Juicy's not great at recording. Kenya killed it. I love Kenya. Nini was there. No shade, Nini's not the best singer. Athena with this doctor's. Oh, I love Darlene. I completely get that. Darlene's in, yes. Athena did not perform to the level that she needed to, which was unfortunate. But hey, it is what it is. Right? Jane killed it. Anyone surprised? Every week, Jane has been in the top that she has competed. Mikey's showing what she can do. I'm kind of obsessed with Athena Dion. Like, the more we get to know Athena, the more I love her. All right, so now we get to choreo, and it's more than just Jamal. It's someone who's actually from ballroom and is talking to them about ballroom, about voguing, and about how to properly vogue, which I do appreciate. Again, as I have said on this YouTube channel before in previous seasons, I feel like they take from the community without actually having representation from the community, which is a very important thing to do. If you are going to do something, if you're going to say something, talk the talk, walk the walk, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, actually bring people from those communities to do the thing, right? So I did appreciate that they did that. And choreo happens. I really don't have too much to say about this either. Discord was struggling a lot. Athena, not the best. We'll get to the actual Rusical because that's where, like, I have a lot more thoughts personally about the episode. The choreo kind of just happens. Oh, Jane. I mean, Discord. All right, new day in the workroom. All right, people are making amends, making all the things, talking about family. There are a few points I did want to specifically talk about. Nini goes over to Mikey to apologize for the previous day, which I appreciate. We also get this moment between Juicy and Athena, and this was when I knew something was going to happen. Because you don't really tell that much backstory unless someone is going to win or go home. And the storyline was not giving that Athena or Juicy were going to win the challenge. So I kind of saw what was happening, especially like I mentioned at the beginning, where they were talking about Juicy and who is Juicy, and how Juicy struggled with the drug problem, and Athena was really there for her, and how that whole family dynamic works. And you bring that to this point, and then you bring it to the end of the episode with the lip sync. I'm curious what y'all thoughts are on the lip sync. We'll get to that, but like I have some opinions on that. All right, main stage. We're gonna talk about the looks. We're gonna talk about the Rusical. We're gonna talk about it all. Up first, we have RuPaul. Hate the hair. Hate the hair. The dress is nice. I do wish it was cinched a little bit more in the waist, so it could get more of a shape. But I do like the dress. I'm going to give it a fab. Just not my favorite look of the night. Excuse me. But again, if the waist was just brought in a little bit more to give it more shape, like a whoop, whoop, instead of giving whoop, if it gave a whoop, something a little bit more interesting in the shape. But still a fab. Still solid, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. All right, let's continue on. Up next, we have Michelle. You look nice. Fab. Why did I include that? Whatever. Jamal there. And the guest judge this week is Benny Blanco. I know he's a music producer, and I know he's produced a lot of hits. I also know that he's married to Selena Gomez. That's what I know about Benny Blanco. But he was a fun guest judge. I think he had some interesting perspectives to bring to the judges panel. I think coming from the background that he has with the music industry, I think he had a very interesting perspective, like he was saying. I was just saying with Mikey and what he was saying about Mikey's talents and incorporating it more into her drag. I thought that was nice. Yeah. Fanny, the hard knock ball. All right. First, Mikey mother tucking Meeks. Mikey mother tucking Meeks. Mikey mother tucking Meeks. Mikey ate the challenge up. Mikey was on stage essentially the entire time. Mikey ate it up. Darlene killed it as the dog. I thought that choice was such a good choice for Darlene, especially with like the Darlene-isms that she brings to the show. I thought choosing the dog was such a smart choice for Darlene, especially with the way the judges see her and everyone else sees her in the competition. I thought that was a great choice. Oh. Alright, yeah, Darlene killed it. Sweet. This is fun. Kenya and Juicy. Kenya's personality shone through very clearly in this character choice that she made. Juicy, I do think faded into the background. I thought her choreo was fabulous. And for me, I think Juicy should have been safe. I understand from a narrative standpoint, it makes sense to put Juicy in the bottom while you have the opportunity to do so with Athena. And that's absolutely what happened there. Like, you cannot convince me otherwise. I mean, look back on previous seasons with Sugar and Spice. you have actual twins in the competition, of course you're going to put them to lip sync against each other. Of course you're going to put the drag mother and daughter to lip sync against each other.
Yeah. Kenny and Juicy, odd pair. Juicy didn't seem to open her eyes.
I don't know. I thought the choreo was great and should have saved her. Right. Right. But yeah, overall, I think they did well together. I think Kenya was definitely the personality of the group, which again is what you need to bring for a Rusical. You need to have personality, you need to have stage presence, and Kenya brought that in spades. Oh, Athena. Athena! Athena, you're supposed to be the mother of the house. The mother of the house. And what she was hoping for in the role was someone who wouldn't have to dance because she is mother, right? We wanted the mother to be able to perform, and she was not giving performance. Yeah, well, no, I agree. That being said, I would have put her in the bottom with probably Discord if I were to pick two. Again, we'll get to runways later because I also have some opinions on her runway. Why would you wear purple eyeshadow for a beige runway? Why would you wear purple eyeshadow on a beige runway? We'll get to that later. But yeah, Athena tried her best. Not my fave. Not my fave, unfortunately. Alrighty, next up we had Discord and Nini. I thought Nini was putting a lot of presence into her role and really trying to make the character work because this challenge was not her strongest ability. So I do think Nini tried to make up for her lack of skills in choreo, and I think Nini did well with that. If you can't do the choreo the best, bring a character to it, and that's what I thought Nini did very well with. Whereas Discord, I saw more so trying to focus on the choreo and trying to not look as stiff, but you ended up looking very stiff. So for me, of this duo, Discord was definitely the weaker one. We'll get further on, but I definitely think Discord could have been in the bottom two. Personally, worked well together, sure. Yeah, overall though, I mean they were fine. It was probably one of the weaker parts of the competition of the challenge for me. Up next we had Jane Don't. Oh my god. Jane, you killed it. You killed it. So good. So good by Jane Don't. Jane do it. Yes, do it. Jane killed it. Very, very great character choices. Very clear personality brought to the character. Slayed it. One of my favorites of the night, if not my favorite. Like, Jane, you killed it. And also, because she wasn't on the stage the whole time, I think that made her character choices that much more impactful, which also contributed to her winning. But, hey, also just the presence Jane brought. So good. So good. Right? And then, I mean, Darlene was so good as the dog. Y'all, I'm obsessed with Darlene. I'm obsessed. Darlene can do no wrong in my eyes. And Mikey too. Yeah. Overall, this was a really fun challenge. I think the queens did very well. Not my favorite Rusical, but I enjoyed it a lot. I think the overall was a really great performance. Yeah. That kind of rounds up my thoughts on the Rusical. I think that was everybody. Yeah, sweet. Alrighty, now we're on the runway. Category is beige. Up first, we have Mikey Meeks. Mikey looks nice. I'll give it a fab. That being said, it was not my favorite. It was a little bit simple. I understand with the category being beige, there's not too much you can do. I thought the hair was very nice. Overall, like I said, not my favorite, but still very good. What did y'all think of Mikey Meeks Runway in beige? Fab? You say fab? Sure. Any other thoughts? Any other opinions on the Samajara channel? We say fab or drab. If it's fab, baby, it's fab. And if it's drab, you know what it is. Yeah, Mikey I loved. I thought this was cool. It was just not my favorite Mikey look. I think we've gotten better looks from Mikey. For me, personally. Oh, the makeup is very pretty. The makeup is always pretty with Mikey. All right, Darlene Mitchell. I love this. I love this look on Darlene. I thought this was so cool. Such a good look. Darlene, for me, this is one of my favorite looks we've seen from Darlene. And I remember I was listening to Sibling Watchery. I'm not gonna take credit where I didn't come up with this idea. And Monet was talking about how Darlene said her Cinderella look was her favorite, and how like crazy that was because Darlene had some really incredible looks, and that was probably one of her not so good ones. So I think Darlene's perspective is very much Darlene, and I think there are moments when her perspective lines up with mine, and then there are other times when it doesn't line up as much. But I thought this was fab. This was probably one of my favorite Darlene looks. Yeah. Love this. So well done. I agree. I really, really love this from Darlene. Might have been my favorite of the week. Yeah, Darlene killed. Kenya pleaser. I love you, Kenya. I wish it was balanced more on the bottom because right now it feels off balance. From the neck up, you look stunning. 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 The bottom of the dress, I wish there was more volume. I wish there was more fabric. I wish it had more layers. Because had you brought a bunch of layers to it, I thought that could have been fab. This is not my favorite. But I love Kenya. For Kenya, I unfortunately am probably gonna give it a drop. That's fair. That's fair. It's looked better than she has. But I still want more from Kenya because I feel like Kenya can really deliver. And I feel like Kenya on an All Stars would be very, very fierce competition. She's not winning this season. She's not. Her mug is gorge and the hair is stunning. I'm obsessed with this hair on her. Like I said, from the neck up, tens, tens, tens. The dress could use some more. Yeah. Juicy loved Dion. I thought this was fab. I thought this was very cool from Juicy. Very fun perspective. And yeah, the arm things are huge, but I like it. I'm curious, what did you think of Juicy Love Dion? What did you think of Juicy Love Dion's look? I am realizing now by watching the live on this on my phone, because I don't have the chat isn't updating for me on my computer. I am realizing there's a delay. I realized there was so much of a delay, so now I understand a little bit more. Juicy, yeah, fab. I agree. I think this was a cool look. Cool look. All right. Yes, Juicy, you look fierce. Up next, we have Athena Dion. I think there were too many ideas. too many ideas going on with this garment. And the purple eyeshadow. The purple eyeshadow for a beige runway. The purple eyeshadow for a beige runway. Also, the lip. The lip needed a darker liner. You needed to define the lip more for me. It looked like... It did not look good. The lip did not look good. We're going to just say that. For me, this was a drab, unfortunately. Again, I think it was too many ideas going on at once. I did not understand what the plumes were for. I would say get rid of the plumes. Also, maybe a smaller headpiece. Maybe different hair. I think get rid of a few of the ideas and maybe it could be good. Yeah. Too many ideas. Also, the purple eyeshadow pissed me off. But that's a separate discussion. Discord, you could not walk in this. Discord, you could not walk in this. And for me, that loses points right away. If you cannot walk down the runway at a normal speed, you have to look fierce. And for me, this is not giving me fierce. This is giving me a pretty look, but it's not giving me fierce. And for you to be able to walk like you are in this competition, in this runway, I need you to look fierce. Otherwise, I don't think it's worth it. So for me, that alone, I'm gonna give it a drab. Yeah, I've liked some of Discord's looks a lot more. This was definitely one of the weaker ones, and she cannot walk in it. And if you need to help walking in a look, I said this right before, I want it to be a fierce look, and this was not giving me fierce, unfortunately. Yeah, no, unfortunate. Nini Coco, I thought this was safe. I'll give it a fab, but it was probably not one of my fave Nini Coco runways. I think Nini's had some really fierce runways, and this was probably one of the weaker ones for me personally. Again, let me know what you think about Nini. Did you enjoy Nini Coco's look? I want to hear from you. Yes, from you. What did you think of Nini Coco's look? Yeah, I want to hear what are your thoughts on Nini Coco? Again, like I said, I feel like we've gotten some really fierce looks from Nini Coco, and this was not one of them. The candy wrapper look is still one of my favorite looks that we've gotten from Nini. Yeah, it could have been better. Especially, I feel like my expectations for Nini are a lot higher, and I feel like this did not meet that level. All right, Jane, don't. I love this. I love this. I don't think I've been super disappointed by Jane ever in this runway on the show and runway. And I thought this was a very fierce look. I thought the showgirl aspect of it all was fierce. Very, very much giving me classic Jane, like very much fits her aesthetic and her brand, if you will. Yeah. Super fab. I agree. I would give it a, what do you say, an ab fab? Absolutely fabulous. Is it your favorite look of the night? I want to hear from you. What was your favorite look of the night? I might give it to Jane. I might just give it to Jane. I'm thinking through the runways, right? In my head. I might give my favorite runway look to Jane. Jane or Darlene. Jane or Darlene were my favorite looks of the night. And Jane, okay, fair. Fair. I think Jane killed it. I thought Jane absolutely smashed it on the runway. Yeah. Fierce. Fierce recognizes fierce. All right, now we're going to get to placements. Ultimately, RuPaul announces that the safe queens of the week are going to be Nini Coco and Darlene Mitchell. I think Darlene was close to a top placement. I think you could definitely make an argument. Wait, actually, let's think about this. Would you put Darlene in the top over Kenya? I think maybe narrative-wise, they chose to put Kenya in the top over Darlene because of the previous week having Kenya in the bottom 2. And having her in the top this week, even though she still got a negative critique in terms of her lip sync abilities, which I did note that. I think maybe Darlene should have replaced Kenya in the top 3. Let me know what you thought down below. Do you agree? Who would your top 3 have been? Obviously, I think Jane and Mikey were definitely top 3, but I do think you could make an argument that this Darlene should have been in the top 3. Darlene over Kenya for sure. Yeah, I feel like having Kenya in the top 3 didn't make sense, especially when it came to the picking the winner of the week. They didn't call Kenya at all. So what was the point of having Kenya in the top if she's not even in consideration for the challenge win? That didn't make sense to me. Because usually RuPaul will say, give a compliment to each of the top 3 and then pick the winner. And this time she only said something complimentary to Mikey and Jane. So what was the purpose of having Kenya in the top? Anyways, I'm getting too into the weeds on that. I know. So ultimately, the top 3 are going to be Kenya, Jane, and Mikey, and the bottom 3 are going to be Athena, Discord, and Juicy. And of course, if you have those bottom 3 on RuPaul's Drag Race, you are going to take the opportunity to put the drag grandmother, and drag granddaughter lip syncing against each other. It makes sense from a storyline perspective. What is going on? Oh, my phone is glitching out. That's weird. So yeah, ultimately RuPaul announces that the bottom 2 this week are going to be Athena and Juicy, which again, from a narrative standpoint, you saw this kind of developing throughout the episode. Yeah. So storyline wise, I get it. Yeah. Lip sync song is going to be Call Me When You Break Up by Selena Gomez, Benny Blanco, and Tate McRae. Is that who the third person is? I feel like I don't listen to this song normally, so it's not on my normal playlist. Usually, I'm listening to Chapel. Call Me When You Break Up, Selena Gomez, Benny Blanco, and Gracie Abrams. This was a very mid-tempo song and not the most exciting lip sync. I understand why they chose it, because especially you want the emotional moments, and also having Benny Blanco as a guest judge, I get it. I do think there are other songs they could have chosen. It was fine. It was a fine lip sync. I really don't have too much to say. I think towards the end, Athena kind of handed it over to Juicy. There's one point specifically I took a screenshot where I think that was kind of Athena saying, "This one's for Juicy." Maybe I'm overthinking there, but I definitely think Athena kind of gave it to Juicy. I don't know. I get it. See right here when Athena is kneeling down to Juicy and then Juicy sits down on it. Yeah. I think this was Athena low-key giving it over to Juicy. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on the lip sync. Did you enjoy it? What was your thought of the song and everything? Again, like I said, I think they could have had a better song choice. But hey, I'm not a producer on RuPaul's Drag Race. These are just my opinions. So, yes. Again, the emotional moment, the drag family. I get it, storyline wise, right? Ultimately, RuPaul announces that Juicy Love Dion is safe and gets to continue on in the competition, which unfortunately does mean that Athena Dion had to sashay away. I thought Rue was going to announce that Athena also gets a save. I thought we were gonna get that double save, especially with the storyline of RuPaul saying, "Oh, this was such a fierce Rusical, everyone killed it." Like we're really splitting tiny hairs at this point in between to come up with these placements. So I thought RuPaul was gonna announce, "Oh, you both stay," especially with the storyline that we've been getting from the two of them in terms of drag family and like how much Athena was there for Juicy and how like close they are. I thought that would have been a really lovely way to wrap up the episode. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy that the season is progressing. I'm not happy to see someone go home, but I am happy that the season is progressing. So, that brings us to the end of this episode. Athena Dion has to sashay away. I am sad to see Athena go. I think we could have gotten some more stuff from her. I love the delusionalness that Athena brings. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. Did you enjoy Athena? Do you think it was her time to go? I'm curious. I mean, ultimately, I don't think Athena was going to win. Um, but I still think the bottom two, you could have put Discord in the bottom two. I understand why they did it. I understand why they did it. But hey, that's it. That's the end of the episode. We are at the top. Let's see, how many people are left? 7, 6. All right, let's think about this. I mentioned Jane, Mikey, Nene, Darlene, Juicy, Kenya, Discord. Is that 7? I think we're at 7. Anyways, we are the very far. We are just over halfway through this competition. I am curious to see how this whole season plays out. Who do you think is going to win this season? Let me know. Yeah, I think that brings me to the end of this episode. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. I will be back here next week at 10 p.m. to do my live review. I like doing these live and I like having a consistent time for y'all. I think that is a good thing to do on the channel. So be on the lookout for that. Exciting things happening on the show, exciting things happening with me. I'm excited for all of this. I can't wait to hear from y'all. Make sure you leave a comment in the after this live in the comment section. It really helps me out in those algorithm streets. Again, still trying to get monetized, so help me out. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will be back here next week with another live review. All right, bye y'all. Ding.